It's been said that a comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing grows there. It boils down to we have to push our limits, take a new bearing, and try new things. After all, the best horizon is the next one. That will eventually lead us to our next discovery, or our next passion, or purpose. But all this is lost if one thing in particular never happens: the choice to take action. It's humbling to look back on our team's adventures from the past handful of years. We've been fortunate to see and experience the world like few have. We have found that the world is a wonderful place, and throughout our longer distance travels, a calling for home has become greater. After all, we live in a country that has some of the best places and experiences to be had. We're blessed with a society that I believe still desires freedom above all, especially here in the West. It's wide open, vast, and seclusion isn't all that far away. And 1,000 different experiences are awaiting the adventurous. Overlanding by vehicle has been our primary method of travel, and through it all, a certain mindset has formed. A mindset that has an insatiable desire to encounter and experience what's over the next hill. To learn something new, to meet someone new, to develop a sense of self-reliance and respect for the forgotten places. In my opinion, mindset is key above all other assets of overlanding. It's the foundation, and it's the first step in joining the greater community of overland travelers and becoming an overlander. Join us as we dive into the deeper aspects of remote-based travel. We hope you'll be inspired, learn new skills, and take action towards your first adventure, whether it be in the backyard or to reach that childhood location you've always dreamed of. Where you are in this process doesn't really matter. We're all coming and going in this great community of being overlanders. Overlander is presented by General Tire. Anywhere is possible. And in part by Magpul, apparel and hard goods. Equipped. Warren, go prepared. CBI Off-Road Fabrication. MaxTrax, take the easy way out. Icon Vehicle Dynamics, and the power of Red Arc. It's February here at the X Hangar, and we're gearing up for a wintertime camping trip. A trip to dust off the cobwebs and test gear for our upcoming adventures. A quick meeting allows us to set expectations and define the goals for the trip. What do we want it to be?
I'd like it to be, I don't know, just kind of part of it relaxing.
Mm-hmm. It's been a while since we've been together. It'd be fun just to hang.
Yeah.
Hang out.
Hang out.
Do cool stuff.
Not freeze to death.
Stay warm.
Sweet.
Easy. Well, let's do it.
It is the morning before our Weekend Warrior snow camping trip. We're going to go camp in the Prairie of Montana, do some shooting, and elements are going to be a little extreme. My job, or jobs, before we go is to assemble the loadout. So that's our sleep systems, galley, med gear, tool rolls, and our guns and ammo stuff as well. I've got a big space here behind them, so I'm going to assemble everything that I know we need and I think we might need, and then we can sort that out according to which vehicle it goes into and decide what we are taking and what we are not taking. I've got a checklist pulled up, but it allows us to go through and say, yep, we want that, no, we don't want that. So I've just got a basic one started right now, and I'll be adding to this as we go.
Whether it be an expedition or a smaller weekend trip, we bring anywhere from 3 to 5 main bodies for cameras, and then probably like 5 GoPros, and then a couple of drones on top of that. Pretty much all the same gear that we brought to South America, and that just kind of shows that sometimes it doesn't really matter where you're going, you just need the same gear no matter what you're up to.
With our departure just 12 hours away, I receive a phone call from my cousin Casey. The ranch has received record amounts of snowfall, and our destination is only accessible with the use of an army truck. Thankfully, I know exactly where to get one. Acela's severe-duty Montero line of trucks brings warzone capability to our weekend adventure.
Seeing these trucks on the side of the road, we were like, we ought to go check them out, and so we did. This is some time ago, and so kind of worked out that, hey, I know a guy that's got some army trucks. I'm so thankful that he let us. I mean, he's kind of taking a risk, letting you guys, a group of guys, just go take one. But we're pretty stoked. It'll be fun.
I think fun is an understatement.
I feel like I'm a driver's ed instructor. Like a little elevation here. Just feels odd. You set center, but usually you're on the same plane as other people right
Stadium
now.
seating.
I'm a little stadium. I feel like a big brother up here, watching everything. Hey Heather. Fantastic. We're just on our way back, but we're going to stop by the Costco and grab some groceries. All right. Meet us there. You want to meet us there?
I was standing over there waiting to see if I could see you guys pull up, and then there was this big yellow cabin. Dang, that's bigger than I was anticipating.
We were thinking the same thing.
With Heather's grocery run in hand and nowhere to put them, we strapped them to the back before heading off to our final stop. A stop guaranteed to make this an action-packed weekend.
Come on, Nate, let's go! Hours ago, this wasn't even on our mind, but here we go. It's gonna be a fun weekend.
Nothing can stop us now.
Ready, right on.
Here we go.
Yeah.
With all the trucks stocked and ready to roll, we head east towards Billings, Montana, to pick up the last member of our team.
There it is, I see him. It's Ryan. Ryan used to drive one of these in the Army. So this was one of his main jobs, enough armor, and he drove convoys on one of Iraq's most dangerous roads at the time.
My favorite truck. A lot of miles on one of those bad boys.
Shall we?
We shall.
Do it.
Go.
2 hours later, we're on the ranch, blasting through a beautiful winter day on the Montana Prairie. The snow is as deep as we feared, so we are running our newly issued Grabber ATX tires at low pressures. Somewhere around 15 pounds here, but just 8 miles into the back roads, we start to find our limits.
Ty was running up ahead, just kind of going for it while we're working on some stuff, and came over the radio and said, hey, we're stuck. So here he is. He was looking for it. You said a vantage point?
Yeah, he was looking to get up to a little viewpoint. I can see him digging up there with the max tracks now.
You want a little help over there, Ty?
Send in the Acela.
Back there? We sure we got the rope hooked up, or? Like a hot knife through butter.
Sorry, guys. Man, that doesn't look near as deep right there, does it? Yeah. Go.
Oh. Boy.
So much deeper than it looked.
we move forward just another mile or so, the drifted road becomes so deep that the trucks are really struggling due to the snow's crusty top and sugary bottom.
Jeff, I'm sitting up here thinking, I don't know about going forward, really. They're towing up there. They're towing the Tacoma the whole way to the top of this thing, and we know from being out here a bunch, this is not the only problem area. This is the least of it.
Yeah, in my mind, this was our first problem area, you know, just because it's so exposed with drifting, but it might do us better to go back around and catch the highway through Prairie.
With limited daylight, we cut our losses and retreat toward the highway to go around to the south side of the ranch. This all goes to show that plans change, but that's okay. There are no hard plans on this trip, so it's easy to go with the flow.
So we just made our way back out from the north end of the ranch. Our first attempt to get into our campsite proved to be a little too deep of snow for us, so we're gonna swing back around, try the south end, see what can happen. So we're just airing back up from that excursion, gonna hit some highway for, I don't know, maybe 45 miles or so, and see if we can't make it happen the other way.
We heard that the highway was really bad over there. Like plow trucks stuck in the highway kind of thing. So I don't know how far we'll get. That's all good fun.
That's okay, he just gave me a thumbs up. Man, this is some of the worst I've seen it, actually. This road sees so little traffic. Some days you'll see 1-2 cars go down it. So that's why I think they don't plow it or maintain it.
Probably just slowing down for the snow on the road, though. I don't think you're coming against this, man.
A couple hours later, we have found a little haven from the prairie wind.
Thankfully, there was a road that was plowed, so we could get back in here. We found this nice little flat spot to put our tent up, and that's what the guys are doing right now, assembling the tent, figuring out how it goes, and Ty and Clay are working on food tonight, so we're just getting things ready, settle in for the night, have some fun and some good food.
So we're making some chicken chili tonight. Everything stayed nice and not frozen. We'll get some good stuff going, and then we should be in bed at a pretty decent time tonight. Have some fun tomorrow. Have some energy in us, and get a really good day in of adventuring.
So, Kurt and I, in South America, started a kind of a conversation. I want to see what you guys think about it. So when I hear I am an Overlander, I don't actually think about what they're doing necessarily, it's the way they think.
Yeah, sure.
What do you think?
No, I agree. It's kind of a way of mind. It's a way they align and the way they like to travel, and maybe it's a way they envision themselves traveling in the future when they do get to that stage when they're ready.
Yeah.
You know, it's naive to think everybody's ready to tackle a trip to South America or even a trip across the United States. Well, you can start with little trips and get ready to do that, so when the time comes, you're there. Prepare yourself.
I think it's so interesting we're in that season where that term is being defined. You know, it's a relatively new term.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to, I don't know, maybe have our little part in getting to play that. You know, getting to be what.
For sure. I don't want elitism to start to creep into all this stuff. And we can be, as Expedition Overland as a team, we can look that way because we do have great sponsorships and we have a lot of the phenomenal gear, you know, so it could feel that way. But it's really about the experience, and if you're out there having a great experience, whether it's on an expedition or a backcountry trip, what's the difference? It's all fun. You know, totally. Alex Lowe, the famous mountaineer, said the best mountaineer is the one who's having the most fun.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, it's the whole point. Get off the couch.
Get out there and do it.
Go experience life.
Put yourself out there. Go do it.
Yeah.
It'll look
a half
different.
hour from your house or another continent.
Yeah. Be in a Walmart tent or in crazy habitat system, whatever. Just have fun. So let's go have fun today. We got some stuff to do.
Unload some sleds.
We had a good morning this morning, got a good breakfast in us, and now we're gonna unload the snow machines and start playing for the day.
Well, I got the sleds offloaded. Want to get some guns dialed in and stuff, so we're gonna go up here and find a nice open spot, nice safe spot, which pretty much all of it is out here. There's no one here, but yeah, just have a good time.
Nothing beats a good day out with your brothers.
Then we'll do 500 or 750,
1,000. Okay, cool. I don't know if this has anything in it, Jeff, but I don't think it does. But we'll put it up. Maybe open.
After setting up a series of targets at various distances, Jeff gets a quick lesson on long-range shooting from Ty.
As it's in your shoulder, if you're not muscling the weapon, when you breathe in, you'll actually see the crosshairs go down.
Okay.
When you breathe out, they'll come up.
Gotcha.
And what that's doing is it's in your shoulder. When you're breathing in, you're actually forcing the gun down a little bit. And that's like showing that you're not muscling. If it's holding really, really, really still, you're probably muscling it somehow.
Okay.
Holding it real still. And that is where your heartbeat and all that stuff's going to come into effect.
Jeff settles in for a 750-yard shot with his .308. This is his farthest target attempt to date.
Miss.
I need to do more research.
To the right. Miss to the right. Hit.
Nice job, Jeff.
Maybe a little low, huh?
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Look good.
Yeah.
You know, for us, it doesn't matter if we're traveling the Pan American Highway or shooting guns out on the prairie. We use our time together to build each other up, constantly learning from each other's strengths to overcome our weaknesses. We spend the rest of the day straight up doing what we do best, having fun. But the day wouldn't be complete without something going wrong.
Gonna hop on the snowmobile for a while. Ty came in, shut it off. I went to get on it and it won't start.
So you got the starters, the little smaller gear there on the back side. That throws that starter gear out when you click the starter, or when you go to engage, it clicks out and engages the drive clutch here, the gear on there. But you can kind of see, but it was jammed on here and it almost like welded itself together on those teeth. It was rolled right back here. That gear was stuck in the out position. So no amount of pulling or clicking the starter would let it go. So good news is it's broken free now. It'll probably run. The bad news is that could happen again. Sounded not too awesome, but cool, fixed.
It's Saturday night, and temps are forecasted to be in the low teens. Tonight could be a long one.
What are we gonna do, Ty?
Well, I'm going to show you guys some sleeping system information. You have a couple choices when you're looking for winter camping or any type of camping. Is down and synthetic. And down comes in, it's rated by fill power, and then
as much as that as they put in there. So as much of these baffles are filled with that down is going to determine how well this is rated. There's two different types of ratings. There's a comfort rating, and then there's like a we'll keep you alive type of rating. It's not gonna, you're not gonna sleep, you're gonna be freezing cold, but it'll keep you alive. So here we have a Nemo Cannon down -40 bag. So super probably overkill for what we have this weekend, but it worked really well. Down is an excellent choice if you don't feel like you're going to be running into any kind of weather, or dealing with any kind of dew or condensation or things like that. They do make down that is now waterproof or more like water repellent. Synthetic bags are going to keep you warm regardless of whether or not you're wet. They're not going to keep you as warm as if you're dry, but they're much better performing in wet conditions than down is. And another thing to really bear in mind is your sleeping pad. This is a Nemo Vector insulated pad, and the loftier these things get, the more you fill them up, the better. Make sure you fill it up quite a ways before you need to be sleeping on it. The reason being is because it takes a while for your hot air in there that you blew in there to adapt to the environment, and you probably have to add some more air to it before you jump in there, because the last thing you want to be doing is waking up in the middle of the night with a cold spot because you sunk down and your butt's touching or your side's touching.
We're just gonna pack up and move out this morning. Gonna head into town. We've decided that we're not gonna go to the north and try to bust backcountry snow, just because it blew so hard last night. And even when we were packing it up out in the field, some of the road had already blown in, and we know the struggles that are past there. So we're at half a tank of fuel on almost everything right now. So we've decided we're just gonna go straight to the highway because it could be a challenge enough. Even this section right here, about 8 miles, could be tough enough.
Not long after leaving camp, we discovered that the snow has drifted just as we expected. From this point, there will be times when we have to drive on the side of the field to avoid the drifted-in road. The main highway provides us with little relief. It drifted so deep through the night that even the Acela, while running at highway pressures, finally finds its limit. We spend a few minutes digging out the axles while the Acela airs down to its sand setting before kicking in a set of max tracks for a quick recovery. If this doesn't sell you on max tracks, I don't know what will.
Yeah, baby! Let's find those max tracks.
After a few runs back through the drift, the other trucks make a go of it.
That's deep.
What do you think of that big old truck, Ryan?
It is amazing to get back into one of these things. Yeah, they're one of the funnest vehicles that I've ever got to spend time in, and so much fun getting to play out in the snow with them.
It'd be nice to have something like that. I don't think we can have something that big. We've been talking about building a big truck. I think we need one.
I'd agree. It's the Acela is awesome. Maybe not practical for everyday use, but you can use something with a little more power and a little more clearance, some bigger tires on it for sure.
I think the only obvious choice left in the Toyota lineup would be a Tundra.
Agreed. That would make me very, very happy.
That would be cool. They're a lot bigger.
Tires are